What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the Master League Battle of Spice. Now this is going to be a much shorter video than usual. I thought there were a few more submissions, but actually a few people just sent in several submissions after they're able to get a better win with the same team, or even maybe slightly upgrade the initial team from their first submission. So in total there's actually only 7 battles, but that's still more than we normally get for the Master League Battle of Spice. So anyways, all that being said, let's just get straight into the question of the day. What's the craziest Pokemon you've ever powered up to level 50 specifically for the Go Battle League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Let's go into the first battle, leading Pyro into Zacian. So this is a great matchup for us. I mean, it's not that amazing just because they are going to have access to close combat, but we can outpace them to the first charge move here. Going to go straight for the Flame Charge. Flame Charge is going to be, of course, shielded, and the opponent will now go for the close combat. We're going to shield this. Close combat is going to debuff that defense. That Incinerate did huge damage. Unfortunately, not quite enough to get the full farm down, so we are forced to throw again, and the opponent is now going to go for a second close combat. At this point, we're actually going to save that shield advantage, come in with our Hundo Shadow Reggie Gigas, get a full hidden power farm down. I don't actually know what typing our hidden power is, but it doesn't really matter in this matchup as we're able to reach a Thunder. This is Shadow Reggie Gigas. Thunder gets the one shot there. Their final Pokemon is going to be a Kyurem Black. And you know what? We might as well shield here. The opponent gonna fire off the charge move. They go for a Fusion Bolt, but we can now go for a Crush Grip. Crush Grip is a great charge move. It gets the one shot up against the Kyurem, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we're going to see Tyranitar into another Kyurem Black. So we're going to be on Dragon Breath, which is a new move update for Tyranitar this season, which does make its pacing a lot better in this matchup. Obviously, Smackdown will be hitting harder, but we're going to no-shield. They swap into Zacian, maybe looking to try and make a catch. We're going to come in straight away with our Kartana. However, unfortunately, not the best matchup, as Fury Cutters are going to be double resisted. Sacred Sword is only neutral damage, and it's non-stab, but they are going to go for a close combat, but we're going to over-farm here. I think we should have definitely thrown before they get to the second charge move, although I guess now this guarantees a Sacred Sword would KO. Maybe they just barely hang on otherwise, but either way, Sacred Sword does get the KO there. They're going to come back in with the Kyurem, and we are loaded, so we can go for another Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword is going to grab the first shield from the opponent, and we are able to reach yet another Sacred Sword here. Remember, we've got Stone Edge on Tyranitar, so we go for that snipe there before the opponent has any time to react. Stone Edge gets the KO, but their final Pokemon is Kyogre, and that's a little bit awkward for us as they will get quite a nice farm down here, but we've got Electivire in the back, so as long as we can reach a charge move, we should be fine. However, if they're on Origin Pulse, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that completely one-shots Electivire. So I guess it just depends, but the opponent doesn't throw here, so at this point, Wild Charge is super effective. It will take out the Kyogre, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we've got Zarude into Zygarde. So this is going to be a neutral matchup here, but the opponent is going to swap into a much better matchup for us as they come in with a Pokemon weak to the grass typing. Don't really understand that swap, of course. I do expect them to have Fire Punch for coverage, which is going to hit for super effective. However, this is still a great matchup for the Zarude, and at this point, we are now going to look to over-farm here, throwing just before they throw the next charge move. Power Whip going to grab both shields. So at this point, are we going to shield? Yes, we are going to shield. Might we then look to swap out of this matchup? I don't know. Well, we're going to see another charge move coming through. We're now going to double shield our Zarude, and the opponent's going to swap back into a Necrozma. So we're going to come in with a second dark type Pokemon in the form of Houndoom, and the opponent's going to go for a Moongeist Beam, dealing big damage, but we can now go for a Dark Pulse. Sorry, Foul Play. Foul Play gets the one shot as it is double super effective. They're going to come back in with the Groudon. We've got Power Whip already loaded, and we've also got a shiny Shadow Gardevoir for the Zygarde in the back. Of course, you guys know I hate charm users, but up against a Zygarde in the Master League, I guess it's not so bad. Of course, we've got access to Triple Axle, but we're going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Maybe this does more damage. I actually don't know. Probably does do slightly more, and it nearly gets the KO. We get one more charm to get the farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we've got a triple ghost team here with Annihilate in the lead up against Kyurem Black. Of course, this is a great matchup for us as we are hitting for super effective damage. The opponent's going to be swapping into Zacian, but they're on Air Slash. I have never seen that before. Genuinely had no clue this Pokemon even learned Air Slash, but honestly, opposing trainer, what are you doing? Run. Well, I mean, I guess Metal Claw is not exactly a great move either, but Air Slash definitely just is not the way. Unless you really wanted coverage for, like, fighting-type Pokemon. But either way, we're going to go for a Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball gets the KO there. They're going to come in with a Tyranitar. But again, on the wrong fast move, they are on Iron Tail, which is definitely not the right play. They are able to make a very nice catch, though, catching close combat onto their Kyurem. And at this point, we're actually going to shield this. I'm not sure if I agree with this, just because we could come in with Banette, although I guess it depends what charge move coverage we've got. We've got Dazzling Gleam, so yeah, personally, I wouldn't have played this out like this. But Crunch gets the one-shot. Annihilate needs to come back in, reach another charge move, which we're able to do. And of course, close combat is double super effective. It easily takes out the Tyranitar, which I believe was underleveled, and we're able to take that game. So, strange movesets from the opponent there, but into the next battle, we're going to see a Primarina in the lead. They're going to Safe Swap into Rhyperior, and we're going to come in with a level 50 Articuno. Of course, we are resisting the fast move damage. We shield, and they're actually on Breaking Swipe. Of course, Rhyperior very much used to run Breaking Swipe back when it was a 35 energy charge move. These days, it's a 50 energy charge move, so it's not that great, but I guess they're still running it here. We're going to shield, and this time they do full send a Rock Wrecker. Now, this is a bit of an awkward matchup just because we've got resisted charge moves. However, of course, we are double resisting their fast move, but they're going to swap back into Primarina. We are going to bank 2 more flies before coming in with our Goldengo. The opponent going to fire off a Hydro Cannon, dealing decent damage there. We're now going to look to overfarm just a little bit, firing up close to back-to-back charge moves, throwing on the CMP Tide as well, so very good timing. Shadow Ball gets the KO, and let's see what they want to do. They come in with a Ho-Oh, and we can reach a Power Gem, which is very nice for us. Power Gem is going to grab the final shield, and remember, Articuno does have access to Ancient Power here. Ancient Power, again, going to hit for double super effective. It's not the best move, but it does quite a lot of damage there, and the opponent is going to fire off a charge move. Now, it's very likely that the opponent goes for a Chip and Dip, and they are going to swap out, so we're able to react in time, firing off the Side Shock. Side Shock gets the KO, and we can go for 2 more Confusions, getting the farm down up against the Ho-Oh, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we've got a triple grass team leading into Zapdos, which is also pretty spicy for the Master League. But this is definitely the grass type that we want to see here, because we've got neutral damage with Incinerate, which is a great fast move. They can reach back-to-back Drill Pecks already, though. Can we tank this? Yes, we're able to do so. That is huge for us, just because we are going to, of course, resist the fast move damage, meaning they're going to struggle to farm us down. We've got back-to-back Shadow Balls here. This might actually end up grabbing both shields from the opponent. And no, there's actually no shield. So at this point, I guess we have to let this move go through. Very unfortunate that the Incinerate damage does not register, because now we're not going to be able to go for a farm down before they reach yet another charge move, whereas if that Incinerate registers, we probably would have farmed them down by now. But anyways, we're now going to commit 1 shield, go for the farm down. They come in with a second electric type Pokemon, so it'll be very interesting to see if maybe they're running triple electric here. But either way, we're going to go for these Night Slashes. The opponent is going to fire for charge move, just going to be a Mirror Shot. Mirror Shot is not going to debuff our attack stat, which is great for us. We can go for another Night Slash. Night Slash is going to connect, and at this point, Night Slash probably gets the KO here, or if not, it does put them into farm down range, so it grabs the final shield. And I don't know if we live a Mirror Shot here, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. We can come in with a Chestnut. They can't really deal much damage, and their final Pokemon is Rhyperior, so this is absolutely game over. Frenzy Plant, double super effective, easily gets the one-shot. And of course, we've already seen Mirror Shot. They could go for a Wild Charge here. They actually do full send the Wild Charge, but it does minimal damage, and so we're able to farm down and take that game. Now, going into the final battle, we're going to see another Zarude here in the lead up against a Necrozma. And of course, we are going to have that super effective Dark Pulse, but the opponent can fire off a charge move, and they're going to go for an Outrage, which is very interesting. I believe Sunsteel Strike is maybe cheaper in energy than Outrage, or maybe not, I actually don't know. But maybe they're just not running it, I don't know. I don't really play the Master League, so I don't know if maybe people run Dark Pulse or Heavy Slam as the other charge move. But either way, at this point, we are going to double shield as they go for another Outrage. Or sorry, use our first shield. And we are now going to swap into Heatran, getting that snipe there with the Fire Spin damage. But unfortunately met with Kyogre, and we do not have any coverage. We're also lagging tons as we are trying to swipe away these Snapchat messages. But we're going to go for an Iron Head. Iron Head does not do much damage. Yeah, I don't know why we went for my Iron Head there. Either way, it doesn't really make a difference. But we're going to come in with these Root, and if they go for Surf here, we could probably tank it. But we're going to shield anyways. They full sent a Blizzard, which is definitely great that we used the shield there. Now we're going to swap, make a catch of the Fire Punch onto our Necrozma. Necrozma not exactly the spiciest Pokemon ever, so... And I believe this is one of the trainers that did submit a different team initially, which personally I thought was probably slightly spicier than this. But either way, at this point, we are going to no shield again. Of course, all shields are down. They do full send the Precipice Blades, but we got very close to back-to-back charge moves here. So we go for Power Whip number 1. Power Whip takes out the Kyogre, and we actually did have back-to-back there. So of course, Power Whip number 2 takes that Groudon, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, if you want to take your support to the next level, you can become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments of every video. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has become a channel member already. Your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.